Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ash and you are watching Smokedshelves. Hello friends, welcome back to another themed reading vlog. This one is my I read 3 sequels that I have been highly anticipating. Is this just an excuse for me to read a bunch of books that I know I'm gonna get 5 stars in a row? Absolutely. I honestly would be shocked, so shocked if any of these books do not end up being 5 stars, because they are all from favorite books or previous series of mine, and I'm just so excited to read them. I thought I would just group them together and give them, you know, a purpose to being read, you know, rather than just in one of my regular vlogs. Give them the spotlight they deserve, convince you to read these books because I love them so much. So I have, like I said, 3 books, all anticipated sequels of mine. If you've been following along for long enough now, you can probably guess which ones they are, at least most of them, like 2 of the 3 for sure. Let's just get started with the first book because I'm already halfway through it. Yeah, so my first book is Kingdom of the Curse by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm gonna put this down because you've seen the title card pop up, and there's no need for me to hold this while I talk about it because I was just gonna gush about it anyways. But I am pretty much halfway with the book. I'm 200 pages in exactly. So chapter 15? Yeah, chapter 15, and I'm really enjoying it. I have some theories about what's going on. I'm trying to think if I can even do this without being spoiler filled. I don't think I can. Basically, I am halfway through the book. I have a few theories on Wrath and his background, and Amelia and her background, and the curse that is put upon the witches. I've already texted my friend because she's finished the book, and I texted her basically being like, this is my main theory based on just a prologue in this book. Obviously, we have some information from the first book, but I was like, wait, this would make a lot of sense why certain people in Amelia's life act the way they do. I just love being back in this world. I forgot how fun it is to follow Amelia and Wrath, because Amelia is so unforgiving as a person and so determined to figure out shit, which that is another thing that I completely totally guessed right from before even starting this book. That had to do with like the main sparking action. I know what one of my theories is completely correct. That was because my friend was like, I've read it and do you know what's up? And I was like, yeah, I think I do. Anyways, that is for a later problem. I'm excited for that to come into play later. I think it'll be a book 3 thing, but regardless, it is hard to do this without spoiling it. So what I will spoil it now. Basically, my original theory is that, or not original theory, well yeah, I guess original theory. My original theory is that her sister, Amelia's sister, Victoria, has not died. I know that's a fact. Apparently it's in the synopsis of the 3rd book, but my friend also confirmed it to me. So I'm excited to see Victoria come into play in book 3 and what that will do for her Wrath's dynamic, because right now, my other theory is that Amelia's grandmother is the witch that I assume Wrath meets in the prologue of this book, because they don't say which sin it is, but I'm going to assume it's Wrath. There's no other reason for it to be, because that would make sense why Amelia's grandmother is constantly telling her not to be involved with the sins, because she knows what the outcome of the bargain that he made is. So it's either her grandmother or like her great-grandmother. Like, it's very close in her line. I don't think it'd be any farther than that. So that is where I'm at with those 2 theories. Those are like my main theories. Obviously, I knew they were fucking like getting married still. I was like, there's no way. They're not still engaged. I just knew there's no way. So that was fun. But yeah, those are the 3 my spoilers. And the spoilers now. I guess just talking generally, I love being back in this world. I love following Amelia. She is such a, not hot-headed, but yeah, kind of hot-headed, but she's very like, I guess bullheaded is a better way of saying it. She's very determined to figure out what's going on with her sister and go to Pride's place, and she's so adamant about being on, she's very one-track mind. It's so good to see. I love it. Great character to follow. I know she's like, I don't recognize myself from before my sister disappeared. I'm like, girl, you were probably always like that. You just didn't even know. Now you just have purpose in your life to like full on be this person. But I love it. It's so much fun being back here. Wrath, I swoon. He's so good. I've been just watching their interactions and laughing and swooning and getting flustered. I love the 2 of them. They're so good. They're so good together. They have such good like bantering and such good chemistry together that I want nothing more than just to see them move along with their relationship, like even more so. But where we are right now, we will not be getting much of that, I don't think. I understand, Amelia. I understand your motives. for why you are hesitant, but I think it'll be good for you. That's where I'm at. I'm halfway through it. Like I said, I would be shocked if any of these books don't come out to be a 5-star because I'm just sitting here smiling the entire time. But I will check in when I have something to update on, whether that is me freaking out over something or just final thoughts, who knows. But I'm gonna sit here and just speed through this because that has been my night and I'm excited to just keep reading. Editing me jumping in here to say that I either did not film the out clip of Kingdom of the Cursed, which I swear I remember doing. So more likely I deleted the video because it's 2 months old at this point, and yeah. So it's been a while. I don't have the best memory. Just know that any thoughts that I was having in the first half of the book, whoa, that's very bright. Any thoughts I was having in the first half of the book carried on over. I love this book. It was a 5-star read. Surprise, surprise. I don't think I have much more thoughts than that at this point because it's been so long and I wish I had my original clip. I'm gonna keep looking, so if you don't see my lovely face from today, then I found it. But if not, just know it was incredible. I cannot wait for the 3rd book. It releases October, September, something like that, last week of September, I think. And oh my, I will be on it. I will be on the book as soon as I can. So that, unfortunate, but that is, you know, the realities. I have been trying to do this concept for so long. It's been literally months and I will not let it stop me. Lost footage? Hell no. That's not gonna stop me from posting this video. So yeah, just know I loved it. The ending, some stuff I definitely called and had a feeling was gonna happen. And I think I remember saying something along the lines of, yeah, it might have been super predictable for the majority of it, but you know what? I still had a good time. Predictable does not mean bad. Predictable can mean you just enjoy the book for what it is, and that's how I felt about this. So yeah, those are like the big things I remember. That was Kingdom of the Cursed. We're gonna move on to the next book, that is The Gilded Cage. Hello, so I've started and have gotten like a third of the way through Gilded Cage. Yeah, I would say that's like a third. That's what I think Goodreads said. And you know what? It looks about right. I'm so happy to be back. I forgot how slow-paced it is, but I don't mind it. I feel like I say that a lot where I don't really mind slow-paced books. I typically end up reading more fast-paced books just because I read a lot of romance, but I don't mind slow-paced fantasy. And when it's done well, chef's kiss, you know? It's really good to be back following Kiva and Jaron. I actually don't know how to pronounce his name. The two of them. It's really good to be back. I have missed these characters. I've missed this place. It's so interesting to be in the city, the capital city, and having more of a chance to explore, and we're finally meeting her siblings and getting that dynamic and just not trauma, but what I guess, yeah, trauma, the trauma they went through when they were separated as kids, like what happened to them since then and how that impacted them and how it impacted their characters, and showing how it, you know, causes them to interact with the world differently. And I'm appreciating how Lynette has wrote in the PTSD, I mean it's not diagnosed, but PTSD and just trauma from being in the prison for 10 years of her life, from basically all that she can remember, and how Jaron, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, how Jaron, the prince, how he also has PTSD, and he was only there for a few months. He's like, I was tortured, I was starved, you know, like the two of them have nightmares, and she has a lot of anxiety surrounding certain noises and people in certain places, and just she has a lot of flashbacks in a sense. I think it's really well done. I'm intrigued to see if they'll heal, like where she takes this. It's, you know, authentic to show, hey, we have this traumatic experience and it still impacts the daily life. But I'm really loving it, and I'm so glad I'm back in this world. I wish I had more time to read, but right now things are a little bit hectic. But yeah, I hope I can get some reading done during my break tomorrow, because I have an hour-long break at work, and if I'm not at lunch at the same time as a coworker, I will probably be reading. If I am, I'm gonna be picking up Nando's because I haven't had that shit in so long. But if I don't, I will be reading some more then. But until then, I probably won't check in until I'm 2/3 of the way done, potentially not till I'm finished. You know how it goes. I am quite bad at remembering to vlog. Sorry about that. But those are my first thoughts. Obviously, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I want to talk about these books, but especially this one. I feel like not a lot of people have been reading Gilded Cage, so I don't want to talk about this
in a spoiler sense because I want people to read the first book first. I spoiled a little bit by saying they're out of the prison at this point, so oops. But I won't say much more than that. I am so intrigued to see where this goes. To just see this internal battle for Kiva and where she's gonna like end up. I mean, I feel like we kind of know. It's kind of obvious where she's going with this, but I want to see like how it unfolds, and I want to see, the names mean a lot, and I want to see how the name leads to the trilogy, like the third book's name, if that makes sense. That one is called The Blood Trader, and I feel like there are a few ways it could be leading into that in a sense, because I've kind of hinted at that term already being thrown around. They've also called certain things a gilded cage. Do you really expect me to be articulate when I talk about books that I love? No. I mean, yes, but unfortunately, I don't have that kind of vibe. I'm not articulate when I talk about books. I just, anyways, I want to go. I have finished it, and I've loved it. It was a 5-star read. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because I don't have a lot of battery on my phone that I'm using to film on, and it's late, and I'd like to go to bed. So ideally, I will keep my thoughts on this concise, but also like thorough enough. I know that's kind of contradictory. The Gilded Cage. I think I last checked in when I was maybe like a third in. I almost did a check when I was like 2/3, 70% in, but it was really late last night when I was reading and I just wanted to get some sleep. But I finished this like hours ago at this point. I have been busy doing other things, so I just haven't had the chance to actually update properly on. But like I said, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I don't think we're surprised. It is quickly becoming one of my favorite fantasy series of all times. Like, if not, I would honestly probably consider it my favorite fantasy series of all time. Maybe rivaling with the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. But both of those have a final book releasing very soon. So I can't really fully say that yet. But like, considering that all of my favorite fantasy series are more urban, these are like more of the high fantasy series I like. That is besides the point. It is becoming very quickly a favorite series of mine. I adored it. I really just love being back, following Kiva, following Jaren, Keldon, Tip, all of them. Yeah, I loved being in, I don't remember the name of the city, but the capital city, and following Kiva, just dealing with her PTSD, and they don't ever say it's PTSD, but it's kind of, she has nightmares, she gets very anxious, she has trauma from the experience of being there for 10 years. Same thing for Tip, and he was only there for 3 years. You experienced his trauma around it. Even Jaren has like trauma around it, and he's only there for a few weeks. So it's just it was so well done. Yeah, it was so good. The series is very slow paced, but I think it does slow pacing well. I don't ever feel bored, but I feel like we're taking our time. We're understanding that she's there with him for a while and like growing to be confused and just trying to figure out her allegiances, whether she wants to stick with her family or stick with the royals. It really picked up in the last 150 pages or so, like the last 30% of the book. It picked up so fast, and we were having reveal after reveal and event after event. Holy shit, the ending. I don't want to spoil these books because I would really like for you to read the first book if you haven't already. I cannot wait to get my hands on The Blood Trader because I want to see how Kiva is going to get out of this situation. I think Lynette did a really good job with the slow environment and the slow pacing and building and the feeling of paranoia and not knowing what you want to do, and I just think she did a great job. And I loved Kiva, Jaren, and Keldon. If you are a fan of the like snarky, sarcastic prince character, that is apparently a trope because I can think of Shadow and Bone and the Lunar Chronicles. If you like Thorn from the Lunar Chronicles, or, wow, I'm blanking on his name, or Nikolai from Shadow and Bone, if you like that kind of style, you'll get a very similar vibe from Keldon. And our boy, he is not straight, no, and I love it. The way like they not reveal his sexuality, but we're just like, he sees as another character, and Kiva's like, wait, I thought you like girls, and he's like, I like who I like, and that person is hot as hell. Yes, please, thank you, need this in my life. A family of queer children, we'd love to see it. I don't think I've even spoken on maybe I did, but I don't think I've spoken on either the fact that there is also disability rep in 2 characters. There's just so much casual diversity in terms of like ability and sexuality, and it's just, yeah, we have 2 characters that are disabled. I kind of forgot one of them was disabled, but they're an amputee, they have a prosthetic. The other one has a stutter, and like that one I remember because it's there, no one ever shuts him down or like cuts him off, and I love that. As someone who deals with the stutter as well, it's a casual rep we like to see. He's also just
a cutie. I love that character. But yeah, I love this world. I don't know, it's grown on me like so much since reading the first book, and I definitely think it's like an underrated series. I think it got some hype, but not really. Like, I think I remember seeing it around, and I know Fairly has special editions for it, so obviously it's got a fair amount of hype, but I don't think I've seen a lot of people read it, or at least a lot of people I know that read and are in the bookish world haven't really read it. Like, I read The Gilded Cage, and then I made my friend read The Gilded Cage as well, and they loved the book. I kind of forced them onto it. You know, that's what you get for being friends with me, but I forced them onto it, and they loved it, and I don't remember if they read Gilded Cage yet or not, but yes, I love this book. I love this series. I cannot wait for Blood Trader, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that they put it on NetGalley, because I will request the shit out of that. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Like I said, want to keep the spoiler free, but just know the love is very much here for this book. I cannot wait to finish the series. That is the second book of this vlog, and yeah, so let's just move on to our third I Read 3, which is Running Wild by Kay Tucker. Not started this one yet, but I am just very excited to be back in this world. This one is like not a traditional sequel, if that makes sense. It's more like a companion. We've had our 3 novels with the same couple, and now we are moving on to a friend of the hero from the first like 3 books. I will get to this as soon as I can. I'm so excited. It is on my Animal Crossing TBR, so ideally I will finish it before then, but if not, unfortunate. But I'll check back in with you when I'm about 50% ideally. Hello. Okay, I am halfway-ish. I would say maybe a little bit less than halfway through Running Wild by Kay Tucker. It's so good to be back in Alaska. I know it's so weird to adjust to the fact that it's not Calla and not Jonah. Give or take a few cameos from them. I love it. I love Tyler. I'm swooning. I love this book so much. I love this series so much. Just being back in the world has reminded me how much I love the Alaska Wild series. And if Kay Tucker continues to just randomly publish more books in this world with other townies in Trappers Crossing, I would be so happy about that. But on a more serious note, I just wish that Mary, I keep want to call her Marie, but I think it's Marie, it doesn't feel right. Our main character, she like has been in love with Jonah for years, and so a lot of this third half of the book is her mentioning her pining towards him for a very long time. And after reading Calla's story, I'm just like, ooh, you know, that hurts my soul a little bit. I mean, obviously it was very obvious, especially when you were in Calla's head. She knew. She fucking knew. Even here, she's a little bit not over Jonah just yet, at least at the beginning. She basically says something along the lines of like, from one of her coworkers, her assistant, you know, you want to be a perfect person, but you're still human. Like, it's gonna take a while to get over the heartbreak. And I'm like, yeah, so I'll give her the benefit of doubt. As much as it pains me to see the pining still happening, I'm giving her the benefit of doubt, and she's starting to develop feelings towards Tyler, but also she's comparing Tyler a lot to Jonah, and I'm like, stop thinking about him. I mean, they both have very complicated pasts, so like, I'm sure they'll like discuss it at some point, or at least I assume they will. Just like her past with Jonah, his past, Tyler's past with his previous relationships, because there is a previous relationship from him that is very important, very like integral to the story, and is like what's making this be such a slow burn. I want to say, like, Kay Tucker knows how to do like the not enemies to lovers, but like what is this trope called, like a bad first impression to lovers. Both sides had just a bad first impression of each other, because there's a very similar vibe in Simple Wild with Calla and Jonah, where I wouldn't have called them enemies, but I would say like they had a bad first impression, and it kind of like started them sour, but they worked around it. There's a very similar vibe here. But oh my god, Kay Tucker is the queen of the slow burns in this sense, at least in this story. I'm not gonna say much about like what's going on the same way I haven't with any of these books, because they're all sequels. I didn't think I would like a book about competitive dog sled racing as much as I'm liking it. I used to watch a little bit of stuff. I would watch Russian TV and they would show it sometimes. And like I loved Laikas, Siberian Laikas. Which they do mention as a dog in this book. Like they do briefly mention that type of breed. I didn't think I would like it so much, but it's so interesting. Like, it's a very different vibe from Calla's journey being like a city girl. It's a very different vibe following Mary. She's like, you know, grown up in Alaska, grown up with this lifestyle, embraced it in a sense. We'll give her this. She's growing on me, and I'm okay with that. I wanted her to grow on me because I wanted her to be redeemed from the Simple Wild portion, you know, from the first 2 books, and I'm glad she is getting redeemed. At least in my eyes, I think she's getting redeemed. I don't think I could rate any books in this series like any less than 5 stars. I'm so invested in it. I just love it so much. It's like a comfort series at this point. I have mentioned the fact that it is my favorite like romance series of all times, and it will continue to be. And I don't know if this is a 1 book and that's it kind of book. But if it's not, I would be so okay with that. Like I said, I would read everyone in the town. I would absolutely love that. But yeah, that's my check-in with the like almost halfway point. I am right there, chapter 13 out of about 30. That's 28. Yeah, about 30. I will check back in with you when I'm done. Okay, editing me is back because I also never did a Running Wild out clip. Yeah, it was great. This one I know I didn't do an out clip, and I just kept meaning to, and I just kept, you know, pushing it off, and so here we are. Running Wild was incredible. All 3 of these books were incredible. They're all 5-star reads. And you know what? I just wanted a vlog that would be that. Knowing I'd go into it, give myself 5 stars for all of it. So can you really be mad at me? I enjoyed my times. I don't know what I'd said when I checked in on this anyways, so just the vague stuff. K. Tucker did such a good job with getting me to love Marie, even though I really did not like Marie in the first few books. She redeemed her and like made me love her almost as much as I loved Calla, which says a lot because I loved Calla and I loved Jonah. Tyler and Marie just were so well fit for each other. They really just complemented each other. They had similar life goals. They knew what they wanted to do and knew what they wanted in life and out of a partner. And I think Marie is in her 40s or in her late 30s or something along those lines. So having a protagonist on the older side of the romance spectrum, obviously this not old by any means, but like you don't see a lot of people past in their like mid 30s in these romances. So it was nice having an older female protagonist, like middle-aged couple. I don't know, I just loved it. It was good. It was so fun. Slowest of burns, as always, with K.A. Tucker. Yeah, I just want to come back to this world. If K.A. Tucker can write anything else in the Alaskan wild world, I will read it. And I will love it to no tomorrow. I'm speaking about, what's his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name. I think it's Brady? the tavern worker that she went on a date or two with. I want him to have a romance. I would follow it in a heartbeat. He seemed like a sweetie. Teddy? I think it's Teddy. This. Incredible. 5 stars. Those are all the books for this I Read 3. It's been a long time coming for me to post it. I have been teasing this video for a while now. It has just not been happening. It has been put on the back burner many times, but I did finally get to all 3 books. I did, of course, love all 3 books. I want to do another one like this soon. And yeah, so that's everything for this video. We finally got there. If you like this video, give this video a big fat like down below. Comment down below if you've read any of these books and how you felt about them. Do you agree with my ratings? Obviously, I'm very biased. I love all these series. They're all some of my favorite fantasy and romance series. So obviously they're all 5 stars. Did we really expect anything less? But did you read any of these books or their prequels in any sense? Prequels, you know, the ones that came before them, and what you thought of them and or this one. And yeah, will you be continuing on with these series that are, obviously this one is as of now complete, but the other 2, will you be continuing on with those series? Let me know. I'm curious. If you like me and you like my videos, please consider subscribing. It would mean the absolute world to me if you did, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.